Family is Providence, and I'm here to tell the truth. Look at how they massacred my boy. Look at how they massacred my boy. My boy Jonathan Majors is now doing low budget, conservative, right wing movies directed or produced by Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. And there's no mainstream roles in sight. My boy went from Kang the Conqueror, Marvel Cinematic Universe, to being a pawn in the culture war for conservatives. Now, I'm not here to make a political statement or anything like that. I'm just here to say, man, that woman got the best of Jonathan Majors. Okay, she won, man. She won, bro, because my boy is down bad, struggling right now, doing these low budget, conservative, right wing films. And it hurts me. Okay, I'm not about to sit here and try to act like Jonathan Majors was innocent in this situation or he didn't make mistakes. Personally, I do believe that the DA who brought this case against Jonathan Majors were selective in what they included into the case. Even though that woman, that Jonathan Majors, that white woman that he was in that relationship with, she was arrested by the police. Jonathan Majors had evidence that she was striking him. The driver who was driving the Uber that the incident took place in said that she looked like she was the one attacking him. We saw video footage of him hop out the vehicle and run across New York City as she chased him. Didn't look like a domestic violence victim. The jury ultimately rejected any sort of intentional violence and found him guilty of accidentally harming her, which he probably accidentally harmed her as he was defending himself from her attacking him. But despite all this, right, the fact that he did not even go to prison at all, he was sent to some program to manage his emotions. He was canceled from Hollywood. Okay, he was immediately dropped by Marvel, and no, it doesn't seem like there's any second chances coming his way. He's not been in any mainstream roles, and now he's forced to be a pawn in the culture war, and that does frustrate me. And I'm not here to argue with anybody that thinks that Jonathan Majors' career should be over because he engaged in any sort of domestic violence with a woman. I know that for some people, once you cross that line, you are, quite frankly, one of the worst people on the planet. And I understand that. I understand that domestic violence is very triggering for a lot of women and men as well. So I'm not here to listen. If you think Jonathan Majors should be finished, that's your opinion. I'm not here to try to convince you otherwise. My opinion was this case that was brought against him was incredibly weak, and it seemed to me that they were in a co-abusive situation. And it also is frustrating to see female domestic violence minimized against men like it always is. Now, the plot of the movie is that these liberal, dumb college students have their campus taken over by radical Islamic terrorists who begin to execute them after they infiltrate their pro-Palestinian marches and demonstrations, right? And Jonathan Majors is a ex-military individual. He has to come in and save them. It's like literally conservative right-wing propaganda, right? If you watch the trailer, you see all of that. The trailer was just released. Now, obviously, besides the plot of the movie being a advancement of the conservative political agenda, the very hiring of Jonathan Majors itself is meant to be a middle finger to what they perceive to be liberal, woke, cancel culture. In their mind, they're saying, look, you guys unceremoniously canceled this talented black man, and we're going to hire this black man to be the lead in our film. And it's going to complicate you guys saying that, so this is just white conservative drivel because, well, we hired Jonathan Majors. And again, that kind of, it frustrates me because it's clear that because Jonathan Majors is black and was canceled, this was a calculated move to kind of use Jonathan Majors as this token black guy to kind of push the conservative agenda. And conservatives love to do this, by the way. They love to find the token black guy who subscribes to their worldview and use him or her to push their agenda. And I get it. As an actor, you can separate yourself from the role that you're playing we can't make the logical assumption that just because Jonathan Majors is a part of this movie, that he subscribes to the ideology or the people who made the movie. At the end of the day, acting is a job, and he essentially was forced into this role. I don't think Jonathan Majors takes this role if he actually had credible jobs on the table. But I guess in his mind, he reasoned that an employed actor is better than an unemployed actor. And if these conservatives want to employ me, I'm going to act because that's what I do. You can't assume that his political opinions are that of the people who produced the movie. And I guess that Jonathan Majors has reasoned also that if this movie performs well, then it can probably make a statement to other producers to hire him, other directors to cast him, because hey, there's still an appetite for Jonathan Majors, and we all know that he is still a talented actor. But with that being said, I still don't like this for Majors, if I'm being honest. I don't know if the risks outweigh the potential benefits, because listen, the type of people he needs to enter back into the good favors of are these leftist Hollywood types. And if they see this movie as just an attack on Muslims or an attack on Islam, promoting conservative ideology, right, then Jonathan Majors will end up just making political enemies, which I don't understand how that could potentially help him at a time where he is looking to recover his career. So I don't like this for him. I would have rathered him maybe try to wait it out and hope for another role to come along, or maybe try to produce and write some independent projects. I mean, I would have rather him exhaust all other options, and maybe he has done that, and then there's just nothing else for him. I get it. I understand why he may have chosen to do this, but I personally still am not convinced that this is a good look. At the end of the day, Jonathan Majors is going to need the people on his side. He's going to need people to say, hey, look, let's give this guy another chance. And for you to look like you're hopping in the camp that currently supports Donald Trump, right, and the conservative agenda, well, you're going to piss off a lot of people. A lot of people are going to see this and go, this ain't the move. You know what I mean? So it doesn't help. Now, okay, now maybe you end up with a bunch of conservative fans, but are you trying to get trapped in a conservative bubble where only people who do conservative media or conservative, right-wing sort of alternatives, underground type movies are the people that try to hire you? I don't know if Jonathan Majors wants to stick himself in that box, but those are about the only people you're going to endear yourself to by choosing to do this movie. And who knows, maybe Jonathan Majors has conservative ideologies and beliefs that we don't really know about. Maybe he actually does believe in what this film is trying to push, and then that itself opens up a different set of questions. But outside of that, if you're not actually supporting what this movie is trying to push, then I personally think that he should have avoided doing this movie altogether, because all he's going to do is alienate a significant amount of people that I think he kind of needs on his side right now. But I guess, people will say, look, man, you made some poor choices and now you're in this scenario, and he's gonna have to navigate it. And you can't deny that he made those choices, but I also think Hollywood forced him into this position. I do believe that the way he's being marginalized and ostracized and blackballed is not right for what the case ended up being, what he got found guilty of, what we have seen that was a part of that relationship. Now all of a sudden this man can't get a role where there have been many, many Hollywood actors that have received second, third, and fourth chances and have gone on to have bright careers, but somehow Jonathan Majors, well, there's no forgiveness for him. I mean, I do think that Jonathan Majors is a victim of getting into trouble during the wrong point in human history. Because yes, cancel culture, Me Too movement, all those things, the way that the culture now handles people who's even close to any of that stuff, it means that there's zero forgiveness for you. And well, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Either way, guys, those have been my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's Providence. If you like the video, please like the video and subscribe. Help me grow my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.